Now then we get to one of the cruxes of the matter. Did Jesus in fact die spiritually? Because I want to tell you something, that's hard to wrap your brain around. The Son of the living God, born of a virgin, did He die spiritually? Well, quite simply put, we're going to prove it here in just a minute. Quite simply put, Jesus is our substitute. And if He didn't die spiritually, then we have to. And my friends, you and I don't have the money in the bank to pay our way out of it. If we have to die spiritually, we have nothing in and of ourselves to get us out of that. The only way we could be redeemed from it is someone to pay the price spiritually. That would be spiritual death. I want you to look with me at 1 Timothy chapter 3. Now, I want to remind you, I alluded to this earlier, that the revelation of Jesus dying spiritually and all this is a Pauline revelation. Listen, the writers of the gospel, they didn't understand the incarnation. They didn't understand God in man. They believed through divine revelation, Peter did, thou art the Christ, the Son of the living God. He had no idea about God in flesh. The disciples had no idea that Jesus was going to pay the price for their sins. That was not a revelation that they had. The Apostle Paul is the one that got remember all the revelations that he got, and then the thorn was given unto him to keep him from preaching the revelations? These are some of them that he got. All right, first, I'm sorry, I was talking instead of turning to 1 Timothy. 1 Timothy chapter 3. Verse 16. And without controversy. See, I told you this is controversial. Even Paul said it's controversial. And without controversy, great is the mystery of godliness. Well, my friends, it is still a mystery to a lot of people today. This is the mystery of godliness. God was manifested in the flesh, justified in the Spirit, seen by angels and preached among the Gentiles, believed on in the world and received up into glory. I want you to go back to the section, God was manifested in the flesh and justified in the Spirit. Manifested in the flesh means, it's talking about the incarnation, the virgin birth, God in man. Now I want to remind you of something. I think we've got a slide on this that'll help you. I want you to remember this. This is real easy. It's the words justification, sanctification, and glorification. And you need to write this down somewhere in your Bible or in your notes. It'll help you because these words pop up throughout the New Testament. And this will help you. And the way that I do it is I just write the words over on the left-hand side of my page. I start with justification, then I put sanctification, and then I put glorification. And then it's the same thing. Delivered from the blank of sin. Same definition for all three of them. It just changes one word in each one of them. Justification is delivered from the penalty of sin. Sanctification is delivered from the power of sin, and glorification is delivered from the presence of sin. Now, these happen in sequence. You don't start with glorification, you start at justification. We have another name for the word justification. The word justification to us, we describe it as the new birth. I said, we describe that justification refers to the new birth. Justification describes the process that goes from spiritual death, which is what that's the state that man's in, from spiritual death to spiritual life. That's justification. That is when you're delivered from the penalty of sin. I wish y'all could see the way you're looking at me right now. All right, I want to go back to Timothy. 1 Timothy 3:16. He was manifested in the flesh, He was justified in the Spirit. Why in the world would Jesus needed to have been justified? You only need justified if you're spiritually dead to spiritually. You only need to be justified if you need the penalty of sin to be paid for. Come on now. I know, like I said, me and Paul, we both agree on this. And that is, I know this is controversial, but this is the center of the Easter story. If Jesus had to be justified in the Spirit, that means at some point He was not justified. Right? When was He not justified? When He was sin.